If you're like us out here on Piney Grove, you probably have at least one piece of diesel equipment. We've got 2 diesel tractors, we've got a diesel excavator, and we also have a diesel zero turn, the Kubota back there. So we go through a lot of diesel out here. And while I enjoy operating every one of these machines, I do not enjoy filling them with fuel. Every piece of equipment has the fuel tank in a different location. On the Summit here, it's on the side, which is nice, but it's also kind of high. And if you hold up a 5-gallon jug like this, it doesn't empty quick enough and you quickly get tired. And also it's really easy to overflow the tank. And I can't tell you how many times I've filled this and I've overflowed it because I can't control or I can't shut off the fuel real quick without dropping this down and the nozzle's in there and it's blocking my view. And the Kubota L Series tractor puts their fuel tank almost in the middle of the hood. So not only is it high, but you got to hold it over like this, or you have to put it on your loader. And I've actually gotten to where I take my loader and lift it up a little bit and then put a 2x6 across here and then put the fuel tank on top of that because it just takes a while to empty this. And on every one of my fuel tanks or 5-gallon jugs, I've put a breather on the back of them or something that lets air in. But as you can see, these don't last very long. This one's lost its keeper strap. And even though I've used Permatex around them, I've used a 2-part epoxy, these will break off eventually. Eventually, the plastic will give on these. Half of that will break inside the jug and the other half will break off, and then you can't use it till you fix it. They're cheap, but it's a constant maintenance issue. And then I've replaced all of them with these nozzles. And if you're going to stay with 5-gallon cans, I'll put some Amazon links below that actually make this better, but it's still not the best solution. But we all know the nozzles are very hard to use. Modern nozzles are very hard to use. So I've swapped all my nozzles to make fueling our diesel equipment as easy as possible, but I still wanted a better solution. And before we go any further with this video, I want to show you something because you probably noticed I've got yellow diesel tanks. I've also got red 5-gallon jugs that have the word diesel on them. And I've got this new product here that's also red. And I've gotten comments before that say when I use red containers for diesel that it's illegal to put diesel in red containers. Now that may be true for a gas station or something, but as a consumer, you can put it in whatever you want. And I'll show you what the instructions say for this portable tank right here. So even though that tank is red, it says diesel and gasoline tank. This is the 48-gallon Vevor fuel storage tank. They also make smaller ones and they make larger ones. I think the larger ones are actually black or gray. And I think some of them are strictly diesel or strictly gasoline, but we've already covered that this does both. So if you're not familiar with Vevor, they're a company that sells everyday products and their slogan is tough tools, half price. And what you'll find with them is something that may cost $1,000 somewhere else will probably cost around $500 with them. And so I liken them to something like Harbor Freight, where you don't get, say, name brand stuff like Snap-on that is very expensive, but you get very usable, very reliable and dependable items at a bargain price. So 100% disclaimer, they sent me this at no cost, but I was going to buy one anyway. We have a good relationship with Vevor, and when I contacted them and said I was looking to purchase this, they said if you do a video on it, we'll send you one for a demo. So I didn't pay for this, but I would have, and I'm excited to have it. So when you open this up, I've already taken the plastic wrapper off, and I've also removed the little padlock that they give you with it. But you get the fuel hose, you get the fuel nozzle, the filter, and the pump. Everything else is already assembled. We'll check the tightness of all those clamps. And then you have your electrical hookup, which includes a ground wire, and then a red and a black, so your positive and your negative, and that goes to a 12-volt battery. So I'm going to get some Teflon tape and hook this up. It's going to be fairly simple. The nozzle here comes with an adapter and it's got an O-ring on it, but I'm going to Teflon tape it anyway. So we'll put that adapter on. After we mount it to the hose, we'll mount the hose to the filter, and then we'll be able to fill it with diesel and end the frustration of those 5-gallon cans. Now while we're here, and this was something I was excited about, We use off-road diesel because our diesel that we use is used out here in Piney Grove, and we don't have any diesel pickups or anything that goes out on the highway. So if you have that type of diesel, you have to buy it at the pump and it's taxed. If you use things in a farming type environment, agricultural, or any kind of commercial type of application, like in your skid steer or your tractor, you can use what's called off-road diesel, and it's got a red dye in it to distinguish it between the diesel you get at a regular pump. Well, most of those pumps have a really, really big nozzle, like twice as big as this, and they won't fit inside of those 5-gallon containers, and you'll end up, trying to line it up and you'll spill it. This has a really big opening, so I'm excited because we have 2 places here locally where I can get off-road diesel, and I haven't been able to use those stations because it doesn't work good in my jugs and I've had to drive farther. So I'm excited that this has a big enough fill port that I can go to any station and fill it up. Make it so it doesn't unravel when you screw it into the female end. And I actually think I have it backwards here, but it'll work either way. It just works better if you do it correctly. And put it in there, see if it tightens up. You can tell if you have enough Teflon tape on there, if it doesn't bottom out real quickly, as the tape will fill the gap in between the threads. And we were talking earlier about how to wrap it, but you can see how that Teflon tape just goes deep in the thread. So it really doesn't matter how you wrap it because it's going to end up inside the threads anyway. Got a couple more wraps of tape on there. You can see it's filling in all those threads. Now it should have a little bit more resistance when I can feel it. More resistance now because those threads are filled with that tape. I'll put a wrench on it. I'm not just going to leave it hand tight. So this union here swivels right there. So I mounted this onto the handle first. Maybe I should have mounted this coupler to the hose. But what I'll do is I'll hold this side with a wrench and then use a set of water pump pliers on this side to get the final tightening. What I want to do is compress that O-ring right there. Tried to get you guys a good angle, but the O-ring's right there. Let's put these water pumps while holding the other side with the adjustable. That way I can get a good tight seal on that O-ring. That's pretty tight. So if you buy this tank and you have to put it together, I would say to not put the handle on first like I did, because you have to put the hose in this street elbow here and turn the whole hose to tighten it. This doesn't have a swivel end on here, or at least I don't think it does. It's a crimped on end, and so I gotta spin the hose as I tighten it. If you don't know how affiliate programs work, when you use a code from a YouTuber, it doesn't cost you any more, whether it's Amazon or Vevor. And Vevor gives content creators a code. So you can buy this at full price, like if you found it yourself, or you could use our code down in the description below and get 5% off. And then we get credit for the sale. But like I said, I was going to buy this anyway, and just so happens that they were willing to send it to me and make this video for you guys. But let me get this tightened down, and then I think we're ready to rock and roll. I think it's a little too tight in here to get an adjustable, but we'll try it. Yeah, it's better, easier to use the water pump pliers. And if you don't have a set of these, I've got these in all the sizes, all the way up to, 2 sizes smaller and 4 sizes bigger than this. They're just a great tool to have. Just like a set of vice grips or an adjustable wrench, I would say water pump pliers right up there pretty high with tools you have to have. But I'm going to keep tightening it until that O-ring compresses, because the O-ring is what's supposed to seal it, not the tape that I put on it. There, that's tight. That's tight, and that O-ring is not round anymore. It's a little flat, so I'm happy with that. We'll check all these other connections, but I can see that the O-rings are compressed in all of them already. I'll get a screwdriver in there and check all these screws. The mounting screws of the motor were really loose. It's got 2 screws that go into the plastic. I got over half a turn on both of them. So definitely check the hardware. You don't want this to move and put a hole in the tank, cracking the plastic, because there's a lot of pressure there with that hose. This should all store neatly under that cover, especially for travel. So let's see what we can do here. If you get that hose formed the right way, then it'll be easy to do it the next time, or easier to do it the next time. I guess when you're using it, this can actually hang out like that, because that's how that nozzle will fit in there, the fill nozzle. So for transport, you can wrap it differently, so it's not flopping around in back of your truck. We're going to be putting it in a trailer, and we're also going to be tie strapping it down to a pallet, because even though it's got like forklift holes under it, it says do not fork it when full to put it on a pallet. So I'm going to run it on a pallet. I want this thing to last a long time, and I also don't want to crack it with it full of diesel, right? Diesel's about, I think off-road diesel is about $3 a gallon right now. So let's say we put 40 gallons in it, we'll have $120 worth of diesel in here. We don't want to crack the case. I think that's a good way to do it. Keep the hose out like that, and that way the cover can close, and it's also lockable. They give you a little lock with it, but I'd buy a bigger padlock if that was an issue for you, if you're worried about any kind of nefarious behavior on your property. All that fits under there. I like that. That's a neat, compact, small footprint type of deal to put. I'll put 40 gallons in it, not 48. And 40 gallons should last us 2 months, I would think. Guys, I'm super excited about this. I've been wanting one of these for a long time. It's been a 7-year process to buy this land and build a house and all that. And this is one of the processes I've been wanting to get in place. Yesterday, we watered our garden with an IBC tote that we put a 12-volt pump on. And that just made it so much easier than watering cans. And this is going to make it so much easier to fuel our machines than the 5-gallon jug. So Rome wasn't built in a day, neither was Piney Grove, so I'm just excited to be more efficient. But she's strapped down good. Now remember, it's empty, so it's light. Once it's full, it still needs a strap, but it wouldn't be as crucial. But let's go find us an off-road diesel station and fill it up, and then come back and fill up a tractor or something. I mean, that's the whole reason I wanted this, not to make a video, but to make my life easier. But this is just an example of how much you can save by just driving a little bit. So right next to Piney Grove, the interstate's pretty close. Diesel is $3.75 a gallon. And I went to their off-road pump, and it was like $3.65. So you'd save 10 or 15 cents a gallon. So I drove a few miles, and here the diesel is $3.39 for on-road diesel, and off-road diesel is $2.65. The bird just landed on the camera. So it's $1 a gallon cheaper. So just driving about 8 miles, if I put 40 gallons in here, I will have saved $40 in diesel. So I've got the 5-gallon tank here, and I'm going to show you. This nozzle actually is a little bit smaller than the other place, but I'm going to show you how the nozzle is a problem, the off-road nozzle, with the 5-gallon tanks. And also diesel comes out usually really quick, because it's for big rigs. You know, they have 100-gallon tanks or more on them. So when they have, the nozzle is not only bigger in diameter, but it's got a lot of volume. And because of that, when you stick the nozzle in one of these tanks, it tends to foam the diesel, and it'll come out around the nozzle and make a mess. Like, I've never gotten diesel in a 5-gallon tank without spilling, you know, enough that it made a mess. You can see here it's a fairly large nozzle, and that's a huge opening. That's a huge filler port there. There's no problem at all for that to come in, and diesel is naturally a little bit foamy anyway. Now here it is in relation to a standard sized 5-gallon tank. Now at the other station, it won't even fit in there. You got to kind of hold it out a little. In this one, it'll fit. But then you got to watch it, because the fuel will come up to here, but the foam will be up to here and it'll start spitting out around the nozzle if you go too fast. But I have none of those problems with this. And it's probably pretty easy to see through. Yeah, I can see the fuel was right here. A guy just stopped me. He said, "Hey, are you filming?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Can you stop for a minute? You want to talk to me?" I go, "Yeah, I'm filming a video." I said, I just got this and I'm making a video on it. He goes, I think you just solved my problem." And we talked about everything I've talked about in this video, how it's hard to fill a tractor. He comes here, he gets his off-road diesel, and he said, "My tractor needs fueling right now." He goes, "And I'm dreading coming here with the 5-gallon tanks and spilling and everything I've talked about." So I just showed him this whole setup, and he said that he's going to go buy one. So that's the exciting part of making these type of videos, is helping people. So Vevor sent us this to drive some sales, but for me, I want to solve a problem for myself at Piney Grove, and if I have that problem, then other people probably have it too, and this is a great solution for that. We can do the math later, but we'll put $100 even in it. So one thing I did at the gas station I didn't show you was that I added a tie strap or a ratchet strap here, because even though this thing is heavy with fuel, it still is plastic and it's kind of slippery. So I could move it, or I can move it pretty easily, even with 40 gallons of fuel in it. You can see just a little bit of knee bump. Was able to move it, so I put straps, and I noticed it has little indentations right here for the strap. So that's going to be a good idea, is to put 2 straps on it where it's intended to be strapped down. And then I'm going to get some shorter straps and strap it to the pallet, because I don't want this thing to move when I'm moving it around with the tractor. I'll find a more permanent solution for the electrical supply for the pump. Right now I've just got it hooked up to the tractor battery. Let me turn it on and let it catch its prime. There's a switch right there. And the Kubota's pretty much full, so it's not going to take a lot of fuel. Got to prime it. Okay. Here it comes. It's got most of the air out. Works just like a gas pump at a gas station. It's a little foamy, but it'll get through it here. So we'll show you how it pumps. You can see it pumping right there. It's still got a little air in it, so we'll let it circulate. And the pump should turn off when I turn the nozzle off, once we get all that air out. I'm really excited to have this out here on Piney Grove. It's going to make refueling our equipment that much easier. And this is the 48-gallon tank. Links will be down below. My good friend Joe the farmer, he's got a YouTube channel, and he's got like 140 acres up near Nashville somewhere. Absolutely gorgeous property. Most beautiful property on YouTube, right, Joe? But he got the bigger tank. His video actually just came out this morning. So if this tank is too small for your needs, go check out his video and see what size tank he has and the way that he's utilizing it. So that's going to wrap it up. But until next time, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard, and check out these 2 videos right here. They're totally awesome.